Welcome back, everybody. Well, I made up my mind about changing the lower part of the box here on the 46. So I'll show you what I did there. Wasn't really what I intended from the start, but I kind of like it a little bit better. So kind of got a little bit of that done earlier today. I didn't record any of it because it's not all that particularly interesting, grinding metal and then cutting it and putting it back on there. But nonetheless, I did stick a couple new pieces on the bottom of the box there. So I'll show you what I did there and then kind of give you some updates and then some ideas for what we might do for a bumper on the truck. So that being said, I'll flip the camera around here and I'll take you in there and show you what I was working on. About what we were working on here on the back. I didn't like the expanded sheet metal like I have there on the side. And I think that's kind of because it was kind of recessed back in there a little bit. And I kind of wanted it to be more flush with the bedside here. So I found this other scrap stuff that I had laying around, which is just this really fine mesh of expanded sheet metal kind of stuff. That was also from the guy I get my welding gas from. And I like it a little bit better. It's kind of weird. You go one area and you can kind of see almost directly through it, and then you kind of come to a different angle and you can't see anything through it. Kind of interesting. Anyways, I like it, I think, a little bit better because it's now flush with the outside part of the bed. Whereas before, I had it like this, where it was kind of like recessed inside the frame. Also, the mesh being a lot tighter. I had gone back and forth between a flat piece of sheet metal and doing some bead rolling in it. People had comments about flaring it from the rear of the wheel out to this bed stake here. But this was easy and quick. And if I don't like it, I can always cut it off again. That's the beauty of doing the metal work here. You just cut it off and weld it. So, bumper. Okay, let's come up with something. So I went down into the wood shop and I found this nice, cool live edge piece of wood, which would be kind of cool there. Found this piece of just rough sawn barnwood here. But I had this sitting on the wall. I bought it a number of years ago because I thought that would make a cool visor for the front of the truck. But actually, I held it up down here and it kind of looked awesome with the teeth hanging down. More awesomer than pointing up, but to be announced. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them on there and I'm going to see what I like best. We'll kind of hold them up there, see what you think. And maybe what I'll do is, I'm not going to do all that much fabrication in this video, but maybe what I'll do is kind of see where it stands and see what you think and which one we should stick on there. What I think I will do is I'm going to take some sheet metal and I'm going to try and make a bed stake like this that goes all the way down to the bottom, so that there's not that weird empty space underneath them. And when we put a bumper on, then it can be flush all the way. So what I'm going to work on now is cutting a piece of sheet metal and see if we can replicate something that looks like that. And then you can all let me know about which bumper we should use. Okay, so here's option one. This is that saw. And I think it looks kind of cool there. I think if we take that bed stake down and there's not that weird gap there, that would look cool. I don't know about leaving the handles on. Could cut those off. When I bring the bed stake down, wrap the edge around so there's like a 90 over there, and on each corner the saw wraps around. Could just kind of leave it the way it is. So that's option one. Option two, what do you think of this? If I just take this rough sawn piece of wood here, it's just pine, it's cheap, it's nothing fancy. It would block off the grill there, but that's okay. I got the sides open, I guess. It's more substantial size-wise. Could do the same thing as long as I got the bed stake kind of covering the little gaps there, or I guess I could lift it up a little bit more. Then there's no gap there at all. Obviously right now, it's too wide, needs to be narrowed. Maybe I don't even have to add the bed stake thing if I just raise it up a little bit. All right, well, I don't know, if I just raise it up a little bit, I don't have to worry about that part there. All right, we'll consider that option 2. All right, option 3. This is just a rough sawn piece of barn lumber. I don't know, I mean, the position, don't like that. It's got to go up, I guess, or down, or kind of in the middle of that thing there. Big gaps on the side here, I have to fill those in. I guess so far this is my least favorite. So I really like the saw blade. So I guess that's what I'm leaning towards. Unless someone can convince me otherwise. So either way, I think I'm going to work on the bed stakes here and making those lower, and then we can reassess later and have a community vote here, I guess. All right, anyways, had some company there for a minute. So, like I said, I just created my template here, and I left myself a little bit of extra room because what I'm going to try and do is these bits here, I don't have any metal shaping equipment other than my bead roller. So what I'm going to do is I know where the corners are. I'm going to draw the center of that on the metal, and then I'm going to use the bead roller. And as long as I get these things here centered, like so, just on the inside part of the 90, I'll bead roll it. I don't even have a metal brake or anything like that I can bend a 90 on this, but what I can do is I can just use my grinder and I'll score a little line right along the edge of the bead rolling, and then I can use that as a reference to bend this piece of sheet metal. I don't know if that makes sense, but essentially I'm just making a little bit of a relief cut in the sheet metal so it kind of conforms to the bend that I want to make. At some point, you know, metal brake would be sweet. It's just not in the cards right now. So we're going to go with the cardboard CAD template here and mark it out on the sheet metal and then do some bead rolling and go from there. All right, well, I've said this before, I am not an expert. I am experimenting as I go. I took my die over to the truck and I figured out which one had the best radius. This is the thing from Eastwood, and I bought the dies with it. I got 2, 4, 6 of them. Anyways, I found the one that had the die that was the closest to the bed stake there, and I'm just gonna run this through here so that I can run a bead along this line. And then, as I said, what I'm gonna do is I'll flip it over on the back side, right on the edge of the bead. I'll score it with my grinder and then fold it in. So I'll show you what I mean by that here after I run this through the roller. And they're fairly okay. They're good enough for what we're doing, I think. So if I bring that in there, you can see the profile of that. And that is going to match up to the bed stake. So what I'm going to do is I got my line here and here. So I'm going to have to do 3 relief cuts so that I can fold this one in, and then this one goes up. So you make sure you got to keep your orientation correct so that you know which way you're actually making the cuts and which way you're making the folds. Otherwise you end up with lots of scrap pieces of metal laying around. All right, you can see here the concept. You can see where the, our bead rolling kind of matched up with the bed stake here. When I was whacking it on there, got a little aggressive on the grinder there, but anyways, extended that down, which is what I wanted to do. So basically what I'm gonna do is, I guess, the reason I got this flap here is to match this. Looks like it can trim a little bit more off of that, which would be fine. And then we're gonna clean up some metal here, weld it there. Can't really weld it through this stuff, so I'm not sure. On the bottom will be good though. Maybe I'll put a couple bolts right through that just to hold it on there. And then here, just, like we got our tack welds going across there, we'll probably just continue them down and cover up this whole bit. And I think if we do that, it's gonna help finish up that back end. And, after thinking about it, I really do kind of like the saw. So that's probably my vote. Let me know what you think. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit and tack it on there. All right, well, it looks a little bit weird because it's shiny there, but I just used flapper disc on it to clean it up a minute. I think if we try and camouflage that a little bit with some paint, it's gonna look okay. So just takes that, bed stake and carries it down along to the bottom here. I think that's good. It'll fill in that dead space there, and then I think, whatever we put along the bottom will look pretty cool too. So I might just put a little bit of on there just to, give it a little bit of color, but looks pretty good. You can see the beads there. Well, kind of. I mean, you can see that the beads that I rolled in there kind of match up okay. So I think it'll do for what it is. So I'm just gonna quick spritz it and see what it looks like. All right, well, there you go. Just a little bit of rattle can blending. Looks like it was there the whole time. So I just threw the vice grip on there just for visualization. I don't think, leave it that low because we'll be tail dragging the whole time if we do. So I really like this one. If you like either one of those boards, let me know, but I'm kind of leaning towards this one. The question then is, leave the handle on? Kind of weird, but looks, I don't know, interesting. Leave the handle on, take the handle off. Cut the saw there, flush, or kind of bend it around the side. I don't know, options. So let me know what you think of that. I'm not really gonna show you this side because it's gonna be more of exactly the same. But tomorrow, got plans, so I won't be back out here. I don't know when I'll finish this up. So let me know which bumper you like, and if you think I should keep it here or move it up to there, and what should we do about the sides. So anyways, I guess I'm gonna keep this a pretty short video, and talk to you later. Thanks for coming back. Well, here's the update on the Miata. You can see lots of little blue tags here. That's because I've been taking the wiring harness and pulling everything out. Got the wiring all out of the trunk and pulled forward to here. I'll tell you what, I've never seen so many clips that hold wire loom to the body of a vehicle. That's crazy. So we're starting to untangle all of this, going up to the dash, and also doing the same up front here, pulling lights out, pulling out all this electrical stuff. I have these things disconnected. They're just kind of sitting in there, but we're gonna have to label some more and disconnect more, so that'll be later. Selling parts off of it, went a little bit overkill on a crate here that I made. This is gonna be going to somewhere in Colorado, so wanted to protect it. I think I'll put maybe if I can find some cardboard big enough, just a cover for that. But otherwise, tearing this apart some more, so we'll continue to work on that. Not really any significant updates in that regard other than disassembly, but I do want to keep it running so that eventually I can take this, pull it out of the garage, and then this will move over to its spot, because getting the body off of the Miata, I would like to use the lift to do that. Most of the Exocet stuff says you can use the engine hoist, which you can see in the background there, but since I got a lift, I think I might just use that instead. Anyways, short update on the Miata, nothing else happening there right at the moment.